Welcome back to another episode of The Radio Psychs, your premier podcast for insights into everything mental health. I'm Dr. Aaron Haddock.
And I'm Dr. Rhonda Yu. We're psychologists who care about people and bringing science to practice.
And we're so glad to have you join us.
Please note that the information shared in this episode is solely intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical or mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Today's topic is rap music and mental health.
Rap music, for a lot of people, is associated with bravado and toughness. For a long time, mainstream rap portrayed machismo and discouraged any signs of vulnerability.
That's right. But the landscape's been evolving. In the 80s and 90s, mental health issues started to show up more openly in lyrics, although often hidden beneath a veneer of masculinity.
Man, I remember when Tupac's Me Against the World album was released in 1995. The second single, So Many Tears.
Oh, yeah. That's a great example.
It's a piece of art that describes so many signs of trauma and depression.
And this is just one of many, isn't it?
There's so many others, including some of today's biggest icons like Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z, for example, using their platforms to share deeply personal experiences and struggles with mental health.
And the impact of their songs shouldn't be underestimated.
That's right. Research published in one of the journals of the American Medical Association reveals a significant increase in rap lyrics addressing mental illness over the past 2 decades.
Yeah. The study found that from 1998 to 2018, the proportion of rap songs referencing mental health nearly doubled. This mirrors the alarming rise in depression, anxiety, and suicide rates among young people, rap's primary audience.
It's fascinating to see how these artists are using their artistry to reflect and perhaps even shape societal attitudes toward mental health.
Absolutely. And it's not just raising awareness. These songs can also serve as a lifeline for listeners who may be struggling. Take Logic's 1-800-273-8255 song, named after the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's a reminder that there's hope, there's help available, and reaching out is a sign of strength.
You know, researchers from Oklahoma State University found that the day after Logic's song was released, Google searches for suicide hotline increased 49% more than expected. They also saw a 10,450% increase in the number of tweets that engaged with the @800-273-TALK account on Twitter.
There's also a study in the British Medical Journal published in 2021 where researchers looked at the number of calls to the Lifeline number and number of suicides during peak periods in the song's popularity in the US.
What did they find?
During those peaks, including when it was released, Logic's performance at the MTV Video Music Awards, and then his performance at the Grammy Awards, the number of calls went up almost 7%, which translates to about 10,000 more calls than expected. And there was a slight decrease in the rate of suicides, 5.5%, which translates to 245 fewer than expected.
That's a lot of lives.
It is. And by the way, the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline isn't just the 800 number anymore. People can just dial 988 now, which is a lot easier to remember during a crisis.
Good to know.
When the content we consume, whether it's music or other forms of media, contain narratives of hope and recovery, research suggests that we benefit from protective effects, meaning they can shield us from negativity and help safeguard our mental well-being.
And Logic's song is just one example. There are also many other rap songs with messages of hope, resilience, and self-acceptance, and perhaps reminders to their listeners that they're not alone in their struggles. Just listen to the words in songs like Tupac's Keep Your Head Up, J. Cole's Love Yours, and Kid Cudi's Day and Night.
Yeah. There's so many songs that can really resonate with listeners, offering comfort and inspiration in times of struggle. But we need to acknowledge potential risks as well.
And there's also the concern with references to potential harmful thoughts, such as suicidal ideation, which can inadvertently trigger vulnerable listeners. Research has shown that exposure to media portrayals of suicide, whether in rap lyrics or other forms of media, can lead to a phenomenon known as the Werther effect, where we see an increase in copycat suicidal behavior.
This really underscores the delicate balance between artistic expression and social responsibility, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Rap music can be a powerful tool for the promotion of mental health, but it also carries the risk of inadvertently glamorizing or romanticizing self destructive behaviors.
It's an important reminder of the profound impact that media, including music, can have on people who may be vulnerable, like adolescents grappling with mental health challenges.
When you think about it, it's really a complex issue with no easy answers. Censorship might seem like a straightforward solution, but it's not that simple. We need to strike a balance between artistic freedom and ethical responsibility, ensuring that rap artists can express themselves authentically while also minimizing potential harm to listeners.
Yeah. And take a look at the demographics. A striking 78% of the artists who've penned these songs in the last decade are Black men. Given the disproportionate burden of mental health challenges faced by Black individuals, especially adolescents, these rappers' voices carry immense weight and responsibility in shaping the discourse around mental wellness.
That's a really important point, Rondi. What we listen to can have a lasting impact on our mental health. And these rappers, they aren't just entertainers. They're role models with influence on what the mental health landscape will look like for generations to come.
So let's choose wisely and continue to foster a culture of support and understanding for ourselves and others.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, do we have time to talk about the use of rap in therapy or the broader impact of music on psychological well-being?
Not today, man. But to our listeners, if you want to hear about either of these topics, be sure to let us know and we'll plan to cover it in future episodes.
Thank you for joining us. Take care and be well, everybody.
Take care and be well.